Hi you guys, welcome back to the show. My name is Brad. This is the Firefighter's Financial Toolbox. You guys know my ultimate goal is to be able to retire in about 4 years. Now, I'll be retiring early, which means I have to have a substantial amount in my retirement savings to be able to afford to live this lifestyle I want to for the rest of my life. Part of making that possible is saving a lot of money for the future. And the only way you can save a lot of money for the future is to go without on some things. What kind of things are we talking about? We're talking about maybe a lot of lavish trips, maybe driving a fancy car. And you know, the other day I was thinking, I want to Google and see exactly what it says when I Google, what should a millionaire drive? You know what the number one answer was? Ford F150. Well, guess what, guys? I have a Ford F250 that I bought in 2003, so we're close. Unfortunately, my F250 has a large motor that consumes a lot of gasoline. And a few years ago, I was working at a fire station that was quite far from my house, about 45 minutes in the morning driving to work, and coming home it was over an hour because I'd get stuck in traffic. And anyway, it was a long drive and it consumed a lot of gas. I was spending about $300 a month for a fuel bill in my truck, which is substantial because I try to keep everything to a minimum. Anyway, back then I leased a 2017 Leaf, and it was great. I would drive it to work, plug it in, leave it plugged in for the whole time on the little 110, and I would drive home with a full battery. Well, fast forward to this month. My lease went up on my Leaf. I really liked the car, and I decided that whatever I was going to replace it with was going to be very economical as well. So I went to a local dealer here. We have a guy who only sells electric vehicles, and they're all lease returns. I actually found a vehicle, another 2017 Leaf, that I replaced it with. Now this one had a little bit nicer stuff and it had a nav package. But anyway, why did I buy a used Leaf? Simple. Depreciation. If you buy a new car, you guys, in the first year you lose 20 to 30% of the value, and over the next 5 years it depreciates up to 60%. So why not let somebody else depreciate it? Now you ask, why did I lease the first one? Well, I leased it because I wasn't sure about electric cars. There was a lot of unknowns. Was it gonna be able to get me far enough? Because you know, with an electric battery, you only have a certain amount of range. When you run out, you run out. You can't just refill. You got to go plug in, and if you run it completely out, you got to get towed. So there was a lot of things I didn't understand. I wasn't sure about. Looking back, they were all unfounded, but at the time I didn't know. So anyway, back to the new car. So I went out and I decided that I was going to replace it with one that had low miles, and I set a cap for a price. I was able to get my car for $12,000. It has 35,000 miles on it. So it's going to be good for a long time. The battery state of charge is 96%. So the battery's still in very good condition and should last me for a number of years. Like everything else, you guys, I buy cars and usually drive them until they need to be replaced. And I do that because it's another way to save money. Let's talk about some of the difference between electric cars and gas cars. Now, you guys, I will never sell my truck until it's dead, because sometimes I need to use the truck. And when I need to use the truck, I need to use the truck. Right now, fuel prices are super low, right? But back when fuel prices were $4 a gallon here in Oregon, it was quite expensive to feed that thing. I would estimate with my 240 charger in the garage, we'd probably spend about $5 to $7 extra a month on our electric bill. So $7 compared to $300 a month in fuel for my truck full time. The other thing that's a lot of people don't know about electric cars is there are not a lot of parts to break. On an internal combustion motor, you have a lot of things that can break, that wear out. On an electric car, you have a battery, a drivetrain, and wheels. Your biggest expense in an electric car is tires, because it's front wheel drive and it's very torquey, so you tend to wear out your front tires faster. The brakes, because they're regenerative, as you slow down, it charges the battery, it assists the brakes. So the brakes actually last longer than an internal combustion car. And the maintenance, I don't have to change oil. It doesn't have oil. I do have to add windshield wiper fluid, obviously, and things like that, but the maintenance costs are much lower. What do I do with the savings? I invest it. So let's talk about the $300 down to, let's say I spend $100. So that gives me $200 extra a month that I can put away for savings for my retirement. You guys, any way you can defer gratification, any way that you can save money in life, it all comes to improving your future. I'm certainly not implying everybody should drive electric cars. You have to know their limitations. We also have our RAV4, so if we want to take a trip that's over an hour away, we drive that one because my car doesn't work for that. But for commuting, it's the best car I've ever owned. I love it. Now, a lot of people look at a Leaf and go, it's weird looking. It is, and it's a first generation Leaf, so there it is. It looks a little weird, but I like it and it works for me. You guys, find a vehicle that works for you and save money by buying a used vehicle over a new vehicle. Let somebody else pay the depreciation. All right, I hope you got something out of this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Hit the like button, turn it blue. It really helps the algorithm out. You guys, I want to get my videos out to as many people that I can help as possible. If you're not already subscribed, you guys, do me a big favor. Hit that button. Subscribe to the channel. The community is growing. The more people we have in the community, the more feedback we get, the more people we can hopefully inform about financial matters. All right, thanks for your time.